Is the era of high-ticket courses, coaching, and consulting coming to an end? Well, inside this video, I'm going to share a little bit of my opinion on where the online education industry is going, what are some of the changes to expect based on our economy and all the different things that are changing in the market, as well as how you can potentially prepare for these changes as a high-ticket coach, consultant, or even a course creator. Let's jump into it. All right, so I'm going to be honest, guys. In my opinion, I might ruffle a couple of feathers here. Courses are going to be dead. Listen, I get it. 2018 and 2021, courses were the hot thing. They were new, the market was good, people were learning a lot, but here's the reality. Courses have an extremely low completion rate. People know that. And more importantly, like with the economy where it's at, people are going to be giving up a lot of resistance to part ways with their dollar, let alone a couple of thousands of their dollars just to only get the information. Right now, it's not to say that the information that you have may not be good. I honestly only see courses thriving in the economy that we're moving into. If number one, you already have a scaled and highly credible platform, you're known for getting people specific results. You have so much social proof that the information is almost undeniable, and your curriculum is that good that it can actually get people the results, and obviously people are finishing it. Or number two, you have a extremely strong community centered around your course. Now, courses are a little bit different from coaching programs because courses typically don't come with a specific container of support like coaching does. There's typically not coaching calls. There's specifically not any sort of accountability structure. You know, sometimes there's community structures like a Facebook group or like a Mighty Networks kind of thing, but like at the end of the day, without having that coaching support there, I mean, people are kind of just over investing in courses at this moment. This is kind of the gauge that I've gotten from the market. I know a lot of people who are course creators that are taking a huge hit right now. Not everybody, but a majority of people. And it's because the market is evolving and people don't want to just receive information anymore, especially when everybody's giving out the information for free. And so if you are a course creator, I would really take a look at how you're really evolving your community, as well as do you have a credible brand already around getting people results. All right, so let's jump into the next thing. I personally feel like when it comes to high ticket coaching and different containers of delivering your coaching, I think that done for you services are going to be leveraged at a higher value than just coaching alone. Let's be honest. People may not be willing to pay you $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 for you to show them what to do anymore. With the economy tightening up, everybody feeling in their pockets, people want to make sure that their dollar is going to stretch, especially inside of the business. So if you have a coaching program where you show them how to do this, and maybe you coach them and you help them, you know, with a little bit of implementation, for most people, it's just like, to pay $10,000 for you to show me how to do this, for me to have to sit on a coaching call with a bunch of other people and wait to get my questions answered. Like, nah, bro. What are you doing for me? And so what I see happening is coaches being able to bring more done for you aspects into their coaching program, where not only you're coaching on mindset, accountability, if it's maybe a transformation offer, but also like the implementation, coaching on the systems and the how-tos along with your curriculum, but also have an aspect that something is being done for your client. So this is kind of almost like moving into like an agency / coaching program blend. So the real question is going to be like, how can you offer something that's done for you when it comes to your client, but not increase in a large amount of overhead and cost to fulfill for yourself? So that's going to be tricky. And again, I think that depending on what type of problem that you solve, you may need to refine and add a little bit more of that done for you aspect into your high ticket coaching program if you still want people to pay you 5 figures or more. And again, that's just an opinion based on what I see going on the market right now. So let's keep it going inside of this coach apocalyptic phases that I'm talking about right now. So let's talk about high ticket coaching. Listen, the coaching industry is super saturated. The market psychology has evolved. People are more skeptical of spending their money with coaches because, I mean, let's just be honest. In 2019, 2020, a couple of online gurus told everybody, hey, if you have something deep inside of you that you know you can do in this knowledge, you need to sell it. And what ended up happening is a bunch of people who were maybe not in the position to deliver a solution to people's problems, because there's a difference between selling information that you just happen to have inside of your mind versus being an entrepreneur and being skilled enough to actually turn your information into a solution to somebody's problem. What ended up happening is you had this huge emergence of coaches selling information and people paying about $2,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and not getting results. And because of that, now the market has evolved and the market is more skeptical. Now, with that being said, I really feel like you're going to have to earn your trust through content with your audience. Also, you're going to have to refine your messaging to solve more urgent problems. When the economy tightens up, people lose certainty within themselves. When people lose certainty within themselves, they stop investing. They cut off all the nice to have. And so what I see is, as a coach, if you don't refine and pivot your messaging into a stronger, more urgent problem, then that problem may cease to exist for your audience inside this economic crisis. And it's because of that, money may cease to exist inside of your bank account. Okay, so it's just something to think about, right? How can you refine your message to make sure that you're solving a problem that is consistently urgent for your audience, regardless of the current economic place that we're in right now. All right, so let's keep on building. Predictions. The economy is bad. People are creating that resistance to part ways with their money. They're more skeptical. The market's more saturated. Like, what's going on? Well, let's talk about sales. Specifically sales to coaches who are under that 30 to 40K a month mark. I personally feel that coaches who refuse to upskill on their sales abilities are going to suffer. The revenue is going to flatline, and it's simply because you are going to need stronger sales skill sets, you and your team, to close more sales during times of economic uncertainty. And that's just what it is. You're going to be getting more objections, more I got to think about it. It's too expensive. And so if you don't upskill on your ability to sell your offer, I think that's going to wreak havoc on your revenue. And depending on how big or small your platform is, you're going to need to upskill to make sure that you can align your sales capabilities with how the market is making buying decisions. All right, now let's talk about messaging. Now, I personally feel like coaches may not be able to out-marketing strategy of bad offer and bad messaging. It doesn't matter what Facebook funnel that you try, how much money you throw at ads, which ad spend is increasing a lot. The cost per leads are increasing out here in these Facebook ad streets. To say, I personally feel like going into where we're at, it's going to be too costly to try to out-market a bad message. And so what that means is that as a coach, you're going to need to refine your messaging, refine your program promises to make sure that it is clear, you're solving bigger problems, the problems that you're solving are urgent, and that you're aligning it with the audience in the marketplace. Because if not, with the increased marketing costs going up, ad spend going up, and sales potentially going down, what you may find is yourself over leveraging in marketing costs and literally operating in the red when it comes to your potential business model. Can't forget to talk about AI. Artificial intelligence is here. It is here to stay, and it has a lot of pros and it has a lot of potential cons. I think artificial intelligence scares everybody. It scares the out of everybody. But let's talk about what is that going to look like for coaches, specifically high-ticket coaches and consultants. Well, artificial intelligence is going to dramatically change the way services and information is delivered. Information is going to be getting pumped out faster because humans aren't going to be pumping out the information no more. AI is. Services are going to be speeding up the quality of work because humans aren't going to be performing the service anymore. AI is. And so what this means is that there's going to be a dramatic shift in the way that value is delivered. And so as an online coach, you have to be prepared to adjust with those shifts. So don't run away from what's already happening. Kind of keep your eye out and see how you can leverage it the best to create more value for those that you're serving. Now listen, I don't want to be pessimistic. I also want to talk about where there's some areas of opportunity and where the online education space is going, all this uncertainty in the economy, and how you can get an edge and get a competitive advantage inside of the marketplace. And so the first things first is that, listen, during times of uncertainty, what do people do? They consume. So in a time where like everywhere you look, there's news talking about the big collapse coming in, food shortages and all these different kinds of things, people are losing certainty within their own realities. And when people lose certainty, right, what do? They kind of sit back. They coast their way instead of critical thinking. That's just naturally what most human beings will do. And so because of that, they start picking up their phones, they start spending more time on YouTube, they start spending more time on Netflix. What that allows you to do is that allows you to step up as a leader. That allows you to take advantage of the fact that people will be consuming more information and give you the chance to step up as a leader and communicate value and shift their perspectives and feed light and certainty back into your audience. And that's going to be big. With so much going on, so much uncertainty, that allows you as a coach to step up as a leader and give your audience that certainty that they may be missing because of what's going on externally. And when you can give them that certainty, you build such a level of trust with them that they want to spend their money with you. So there are some areas of opportunity with all this chaos going on. Another thing is that new economic times mean that there are new problems inside of the marketplace. Now, as coaches, before coaches, what are we? We are entrepreneurs and we are problem solvers. So don't be afraid to take a look at how you can solve a little bit of a bigger problem with what you're doing as a coach. Let's take fitness, for example. One of the first expenses that people cut off inside of a recession or during hard economic times is their fitness trainer or their gym membership. Let's just say that you're an online coach and you help businessmen, lose weight and get more energy. That's great. But like during times of economic uncertainty, how can you refine your messaging to solve a bigger problem? Maybe you pivot your niche. Instead of helping businessmen, you help maybe salesmen. And you also pivot the problem. Instead of just lose weight, you help them gain more energy so that way they can be more productive and perform higher towards their sales quotas. What you just did is you just took the exact thing that you did and you repositioned it to solve a bigger problem, which is reaching your sales quotas. You could go even deeper. Let's just say that you work with Black businessmen. Like I have a ticket coaching program for Black and brown businessmen. What I would do if I was still running my platform at peak is I would pivot towards Black and brown salesmen. And I'm just giving you guys an example here. I would pivot towards Black and brown salesmen who work in white dominated sales environments like cybersecurity. Why? Because as a Black guy on a team with predominantly white men in a space where most of the transactions are made from white men, it is typically a lot easier to underperform. Why? Because there's a lack of affiliation, there's a lack of like similar values, there's a lack of familiarity, and so sales conversations just require a higher level of a skill set. Now, if I got a family to feed, I know that with all the companies furloughing their bottom performing employees, as a black man, I gotta make sure I'm performing. So if I came across an ad or a social media post that was talking about being a black man in a white dominated sales environment and making sure that my health and my energy and my productivity is on point so I can reach quota and get to the top performers so that way I can stay financially safe, guess what that's doing? That's solving a big problem for me. And so now all I did was repivot and refine this problem that I solved to solve a bigger problem. And that was a complete example for you guys. You guys can see where I'm going with that. And so it's just potentially refining what you're doing to solve a bigger problem or solve a problem that's more aligned with what's going on inside of the marketplace. And then lastly, look, I'm glad the recession here. Will the real entrepreneurs please stand up? Because the recession is going to kick out all of the fakers. It's going to kick out all of the coaches who really ain't built for this shit. It's going to kick out all the people who aren't really passionate about helping people. So take advantage of the market saturation going down, because so many people aren't just going to be able to start a coaching business because it makes money. We're going to go back to actual market conditions where you have to be competitive, where you have to run your business as a business, where you have to have skill sets. And because of that, unfortunately, a lot of coaches are going to go back to their jobs. They're going to go back to different industries. They're going to either work for other coaching programs. If you're a coach that knows what you're doing, you know the problem that you want to solve, and you're willing to upskill and do the work, take advantage of the fact that, listen, this market's going to scare a lot of people out the game, and that gives you more space to get your message out there and help more people. So guys, I know we just went over a hell of a lot, and I'm not a pessimistic guy. I do think that you have to see what's ideal versus what's real and find the alignment in between. The market is changing. It's getting more saturated. Customers are becoming more skeptical. It's becoming harder for them to part ways with their dollars. These are real things that are happening right now. And so we have to be abreast on these things so we can make the proper adjustments and the necessary adjustments in our business to keep on thriving and keep on growing, even through times of economic uncertainty. So those are my opinions. Drop your comments below. If you found any value in this video, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. And I appreciate you guys for tapping in. My name is Elijah Tyson. I'm the founder of Content to Sales, where we help high-ticket coaches and consultants drive more sales and elevate their thought leadership using the Content to Sales formula. Tap in, fam.